Taping, know that you're gonna want to wear a half up, half down. I would definitely recommend y'all doing y'all hair
half up, half down.
Like when you put them in, you already know how it's gonna lay. Since I installed my tapings as a half up, half down, it's gonna show when I put them. So basically, I'm just gonna add in these tapings. These are jet black, straight, and a 12-inch, and my hair is probably like, it's about this length, so I'm really just gonna add it in for fullness because I just want my hair to look like super thick. Okay y'all, so I'm just pulling out 2 little pieces in the front because I thought it would be cute if I had like a half up, half down and had 2 pieces. So I'm just trying to make a triangular shape and make sure that it's like evenly the same amount of hair on both sides. So yeah, I'm just going in with my comb and trying to make 2 even triangles to make sure it's like the same amount of hair that I leave out on both sides. Okay, so now I got both sides parted out. It looked pretty even to me, and little triangles look like they're the same size. So I'm just going and gonna go ahead and part my half up, half down because that's the way I'm gonna style my hair. And y'all, my hair was so dirty. Please do not judge me. I actually had washed it like maybe 3 or 4 days ago, but I just be having bad dandruff, and I really did actually want to test out my tape-ins on my hair after it had been washed for a few days, because I know one of my friends got her tape-ins done and she said it was sliding out, and she said the girl who did it like didn't wash her hair first. So I just wanted to see like if I like noticed any slipping of my tape-ins or if they didn't stick as well with my hair being washed like 3 days ago. So I just wanted to show y'all really quick how my hair looked half up, half down before I added in the extensions. And now I'm gonna go ahead and put my tape-ins in. So I only use 1 pack to do this half up, half down, y'all. And I pretty much just cut that little pack in half, and those were the 2 I had in my hand. So now I'm just parting through the back. I'm gonna leave all of that hair out. Like I said, this was more of a natural everyday look. Like I still just wanted it to look like my hair, but I just wanted my hair to look more full. So I'm just taking my tweezers to take the paper off the back of the tape-in, and now I'm just lining my tape-in up, not right on my scalp, but not too far down. I feel like the first one I put in, I always put like a little bit too high, but this still wasn't bad. I mean, honestly, as long as it's not super close to your scalp, you should be okay. And I noticed my part was crooked, so I'm just going in and fixing that part really quick. Sorry if I sound a little stuffy, y'all. I am sick, but I'm just trying to make good use of my time. So now that I have the tape-in stuck on, I'm just pulling it right down, and any of the hair that is stuck to the tape is the hair you want to keep in between. You don't want it to be like parted or like a big thick chunk of hair that's between the tape-in, because it's gonna cause the tape-in not to stick as well. You want to make sure you only have the hair that's stuck to the tape on each side, and then take your time when you place the tape-in over the bottom tape-in, because if you squeeze it tight and press it down and then you realize that it's uneven, or you know, one side is slid to the left more than the other, like you're not gonna be able to pull that off. You're gonna need to take the solution and literally remove it. So make sure that it's lined up as perfectly as you can before you squeeze it on, and just try to make sure like any extra little pieces of hair that's around it is cleaned up. So once you have the first tape-in in, you can continue to do the same process. So I'm just going to do 3 on that first line, and I'm just doing the same thing, pressing it in really good. And like I said earlier, I put these tape-ins in without my hair being first, so I did notice on that one it wasn't sticking as much, so I did just go ahead and like pull it off. So like if your hair is oily, or if it's like a whole lot of hair that sticks, the tape-in will like come off without you having to like use a solution. So that's just one indicator that 1, your hair is dirty, or 2, you have too much hair. So those are 2 things that you can like evaluate if you're trying to stick your tape-ins in and they aren't working. And you'll see in the video, I actually started using some dry shampoo, and I'll leave the link for that below so y'all can see the brand and like the kind and everything. But I just went ahead and repeated the same process. Made sure I use less hair, stuck it on really good, and then I'm just proceeding to do the same thing and going over to the right side of my hair. And just like the one in the middle, this one on the side was not sticking. Like my hair was so oily right there that the tape-ins would not stick. So y'all definitely want to wash your hair or make sure that the area is clean, because once the tape-in gets oils on it, it's not going to stick. So I had to take another tape-in out the pack and peel off the paper and like stick it back on, because once your hair puts the oils on there, it's not going to stick. So like I said earlier, I was just taking some dry shampoo and just spraying the area, and I saw somebody else do this in one of their videos, and it's super duper helpful, y'all. Like it stuck right on. I don't think you could see it from the angle that my head was, but once I sprayed the dry shampoo and stuck the tape-in on, it stuck right on. I had no issues. So moving right along, now that I'm done with the first row, I'm just gonna go ahead and part through to the next one. And as you can see, it's already blending so good. Like I said, my hair had been washed a couple days ago. It wasn't like bone straight or anything, but I really like how the texture of this hair blends with my natural hair. I feel like it just gives it a nice little mix. So now I'm just making sure that my part is nice and straight. And like I said, the dry shampoo was completely saving the day. So I just saved myself the hassle and started spraying the dry shampoo as I went. But as you can see, I sprayed a little too much. So make sure y'all take your time. I was rushing out the house per usual to go to a baby shower, and I was trying to hurry up and get my hair done. So take your time. Make sure you don't spray it too close so you don't have that white film and that little white line on your hair. Once I like brushed it through on my hand, it totally went away. So it's not like you would have to wash your hair or anything, but if you just slow down and take your time, that's something that can easily be avoided. So now I'm just continuing the same process. I think I added about 4 tape-ins on this row, but I'm just pressing it up against my hair, and like I said, pulling down only the hairs that stick, making sure it's nice and cleaned up, and just continuing the same process I did in the other rows. So like I said too, make sure that y'all do not put your tape-ins too close to your scalp. Like you really want to get it just close enough that it doesn't bother you. So once you tape it on, if you feel it pulling, like just like don't press it on super hard and just peel it off, and make sure that it's in a spot before you press it down firmly. This was my second time doing my tape-ins, so I kind of was going a lot faster this time, so I finally had caught on to how to do it. But the first time y'all do it, definitely take your time. Like it's something that's super tedious, and you kind of just have to like feel around for it, especially in the areas that you can't really see. So now that everything feels nice and neat and comfortable, I'm just going to go ahead and brush it out. Just make sure that there's no little flyaway hairs, or there's nothing that is causing any tension or feels uncomfortable for me. So now that everything feels okay on that row, I'm going to proceed to do the same thing. I'm going to just go ahead and just part more of my hair across. I really just parted enough to cover the tape-ins, just so I knew that they wouldn't show. But like I said, this was more so for fullness, so I only used 1 pack, maybe like 3/4 of the pack for the back, and then like the last little quarter for the top. So yeah, now you can see it's looking pretty full. I really could have just stopped there if I wanted to, and I would have had the fullness and the naturalness that I was looking for, but I figured the rest of the tape-ins wouldn't hurt. It would just make my hair look even more full. So now that I'm at the top, I am making sure that my tape-ins aren't too far over to the side, just because you don't want them to be poking out on the side of your ponytail or just like on the side of your hair. So that's something else to keep in mind. Make sure that you are kind of stacking them inward and not outward, because you don't want them to like poke up past your hair or to just have like that little tail end hanging off the side. Something else for y'all to pay attention to too is like the thicker areas of your hair. So this part of my hair right in the middle particularly is the thickest part. So in this area, I did have to really make sure that I pulled like all the extra hair that stuck on the tape-in off. Like you see, it's kind of some on the side right there. Like definitely take your time in the thicker areas, because you're gonna have more hair that sticks than like on the outer perimeter of your hair. And y'all see I'm religiously using my dry shampoo. Like do not take that for granted, y'all, if your hair is not freshly washed, because you don't want to waste the stickiness of your tape-in unless you have replacement tape on hand. But if you don't and your hair is not freshly washed, definitely get y'all some dry shampoo. I'm telling you, it's literally going to change the game for you. So So as you can see here too, now that I'm on this row closer to the top, I'm only putting 3 in, whereas the row below I did 4. And I want to say the first row I did 3, so I think I did 3 4 3, and then I'm going to do 2 more and then 1 more. So if y'all needed like a pattern to reference when you do your hair for this hairstyle, so I would do 3 tape-ins on the first row, and then the row right above that I would do 4, and then your next 2 rows going up you're going to do 3 tape-ins, and then at the very top I just added 1 right below the ponytail. And this just helps to ensure that your tape-ins are stacked above one another, because if they're stacked above one another in that pattern, like they're going to cover the other tape-in below it regardless. So that's just less you have to worry about as far as coverage and making sure that none of your tape-ins are showing. So now I'm just combing my hair out. I'm really just trying to look to see like if I want to add more, should I add more? I didn't want it to be too thick, but I also wanted to make sure that it was nice and full. So like I said earlier in the video, I'm just going to go ahead and add 3 more tape-ins right above that other row of 3. And I'm just going to make sure that when I do place them in, I don't place them in kind of on the outside of the outer tape-ins, but on the inside so that the sides don't poke out. And as y'all can see, I want to look crazy with the dry shampoo again. So like I said, definitely take y'all time, because you're going to have to like rub it in with your hands like I did, and it can be avoided. Other than the dry shampoo, it's actually looking really good. Like I'm loving how natural it's looking. My hair is covering everything good, and then the tape-ins are covering any other spots where there's tape-ins below it. So now I'm actually getting to the second half of the pack. Remember in the beginning I cut it in half and I just started with one side. I will say make sure that y'all cut the rubber band off the tape-in, and don't try to like pull them out on the rubber band. Just grab you some scissors and go ahead and cut it so that you can easily grab them and you don't have to like stress and pull them and all of that. So I'm just continuing the same process. I got plenty of dry shampoo right there, so the tape-ins are sticking right on, and I'm just about done. Like I said, I was kind of in a rush, so I'm just making sure that I tape them in properly the first time, because I do not have time to go back and try to fix anything. So I'm just about done. I'm on the last tape-in for that row, and like I said, y'all, make sure you squeeze it in really tight. I never use like a flat iron or any type of heat to like bond the adhesive. You should be able to just press it on nice and firmly, and you really shouldn't have any issues with your tape-in staying in. So now I'm just making sure that everything is still going to be covered and there's not any spots. And once I comb that little side part, the tape-in didn't show anymore, so I was good to go there. So now I'm just gonna add in one last little piece. As you can see, I added more dry shampoo. Like y'all really overdid it and was just spraying it way too close to my head. So please take it from me and don't spray it so close. It will still work. But yeah, I just added one little piece in the top. I really didn't need it, but I always feel like a little something goes a long way. And just for a little bit more fullness and to keep the texture blended throughout, I just added that one little piece in the top, and I think it blended really, really well. So now I have all the tape-ins added in the back that I'm going to add, and yeah, I really, really like it. Like it looks so cute and natural. I mean, if I didn't want to add anything in the top, I guess I really didn't have to, but yeah, like this is before I like curled it or anything. And like I said, my hair wasn't freshly soaked out or anything, so the tape-ins blended really, really good, and I was happy with how it came out. So now moving along to the front, I just wanted to make sure that the part was really neat and even in between, because when your hair is like slickly pulled up like that, you want to make sure it's not like any weird little spots where it's not even. So I'm just putting the back part in a ponytail so that none of it gets mixed in with the top while I have it parted. And since I'm not going to only be wearing my hair in a half up, half down, I just made sure that I had enough hair to split down in the middle if I wanted to wear my hair like in the middle part. So now that I have the middle part sectioned off, I kind of did it on an angle because when you place tape-ins in the top of your hair, you want to put them on an angle so that the sides of them don't poke out. So I'm just kind of showing you guys where I'm going to place it on each side. And I'm only going to add 2 in the top part so that I can have a little bit more fullness in my ponytail. And then if I was to part that same area down the middle, my tape-in still wouldn't show, but I would just have fullness in my bangs and I would have a really cute suppressed look. So once I got to the top, it was a lot easier because I could actually see what I was doing and I could go a lot faster. But yeah, I'm just doing the same process that I did in the back for the other rows, just pressing the hair up against the top and then letting it fall down. And then y'all can see too, I did add some more dry shampoo just because, like I mentioned earlier in the video, I wanted to try putting my tape-ins in without a fresh wash, and I haven't had any problem. It's been about a week and they haven't slipped or anything, so I definitely think this is a good method for y'all. Like if you're in a rush or you just don't have time to wash your hair or whatever, definitely make sure y'all have the dry shampoo on hand because it's gonna help your tape-ins stay in. So now I'm just continuing the same process on the other side, making sure that I distribute the tape-ins evenly on the same side as I did on the left, and just making sure that everything is going to be nice and even and look nice and natural when I get done. Okay, so now that I have 2 tape-ins added on both sides, I'm just pulling my hair up into a ponytail just to see how thick it looks now and to determine if I want to add maybe 1 more tape-in on each side. It honestly looks okay, but I think I am going to just add 1 more on each side. It won't hurt. I just really want to make sure that I don't place it in a way where the tape-ins are going to poke out because as you can see now, nothing is showing. So I'm just parting once again on an angle and just kind of going to line them up right in the same area where I already have the other ones. Obviously there's hair in between, but you just kind of want to make them like stacked up against each other. And it looks like I might actually be adding 2 more. So yeah, if you have space, depending on how thick your hair is, you know, the tape-ins are so thin, it's just going to make your hair look even more full and natural. Okay, so now that I have those 2 added on that side, I'm just going to pull up that side of my hair into a ponytail. And yeah, definitely make sure that make sure your part is nice and neat and that nothing is showing because you don't want to have to go back and fix that later. But just by me pulling up on that one side, it kind of showed me that when I place the tape-ins on the other side, I want to make sure that I don't place them as far forward. I didn't have an issue covering up that little spot once I went back in through it, but if you notice on this side, I kind of placed it a little further back so that I don't have to deal with, you know, the tape-in poking out on the side. And you can see that side went up nice and smoothly. So now that I'm done with both sides, I'm just brushing it up into a ponytail and I'm just gonna go ahead and sleek it up tight and put my hair to rubber band so that I can see how everything looks. Okay, so now that I have that slicked up nice and smooth, I'm just taking my mini flat iron and just bumping those 2 little pieces in the front just to add a little bit of character to the hairstyle. I thought it'd be cute to have a couple little curls in the front, and then I'm gonna just go ahead and curl the rest of my hair too. So just kind of showing y'all how it looks before I add the curls. Very full, lots of natural body, but I did want to do curls just to give it more of like a style. So I am gonna curl my hair in the ponytail, and as you can see, it really easily just adds so much cute body to the hairstyle, y'all. Like the half up half down straight is cute, but I'm telling you, a couple of curls can really go a long way. So I'm just taking my regular size flat iron and just throwing that body in there, making sure it looks super cute and natural, and making sure that my ponytail is pulled nice and tight. So now that I had the top part done, I just went ahead with the large flat iron, and I'm doing the same thing in the back. It was pretty quick. It probably took me like no more than maybe 10 minutes to do all of it. But I'm just wrapping my hair around the flat iron and then just like pulling it down and kind of loosening it up as I go. And if I want a video on how to do like soft body curls with a flat iron, I can do that too. Just let me know. But make sure you don't miss any pieces. You see, I had to make sure I really got all the little pieces at the bottom. And just as I was going, I was just checking to make sure there wasn't anything that I missed. So I do see one little straight piece like right there in the middle. So I'm just going to go back in with the flat iron and make sure that I bump that spot so there's not any straight pieces in with my curls. So as y'all can see, the curls came out super bomb. I really liked how the body looked. And I'm just now going to take this little piece and just wrap it around just to give it more of like a styled look. I think I just put a little pin in it. But yeah, I just wrapped a little piece around and then just pinned it just so it could just, you know, have more of a styled look. So yeah, y'all, this was a finished look after I was all done and I got everything added in my hair curled. So I really liked it. I feel like it definitely looked really natural, just like my real hair was like super full and thick. So yeah, if you guys got to this far in the video, make sure you like it and comment below and let me know what other textures I should try next. Thanks for watching and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.